all, welcome to another quick learning. Today we're going to go back to CodeSignal, work on the Python coding exercises. If you're joining this in the middle of a playlist and you want to start from the first video, I'll put a link in the description below. Otherwise, you can go ahead and get started. So Arcade Python. And then we're down here at number 67, Fibonacci Generator, under yin and yang of yields, which is kind of a hint there. So we have to implement the code where the ellipsis is, these three periods here. So the Fibonacci sequence is known to every programmer, and you're not an exception. It is believed that not all properties of Fibonacci numbers are yet studied. In order to help your descendants, you'll like to implement a generator that will generate Fibonacci numbers indefinitely. Who knows, maybe in the distant future, your generator will help to make a breakthrough in this field. To test your generator, you'd like to check the first few values. Given the number n, return the first n numbers of Fibonacci sequence. Okay, so for n equals 3, these are the first 3 numbers of the Fibonacci sequence. So if you're not aware of what the Fibonacci sequence is, I'll explain it here. So first it starts off with 0 and 1. And then the next number is the sum of these previous 2 numbers. So then it is 1. And then it's the sum of these previous 2 numbers is 2, and then it's 3, and then it would be 5, etc. So just keep summing the previous 2 numbers. All right, so in this code, overall we've got the Fibonacci generator, and you put in a variable n, which is an integer, for how many values you want back out. And then there's a function called fib, and then the generator calls this function fib, and then we return, it grabs next gen for a specified number, which is using the range n, we're going to put into this list comprehension. All right, so what does this fib do? First, you initialize last variable, which is a tuple of 0 and 1. And then we have this while true, so this is just going to keep going endlessly. And then we have whatever we have to put here, and then it's going to return last 0, so the first part of this last tuple. And then it's going to change what last is. It's going to take both of these and sum them together to get the next one that is last 0. And then in last 1, it's going to put whatever was in last 0 previously. So if we go to the sequence, so first it's going to start off with 0 and 1. Then it's going to go to 1 and 0 because it's going to sum these 2 up. And that's 1, so it'll put it here. And then it's going to take this and it's just going to put this where that is. All right. So if we ran it again, then we would get, so you'd sum these 2 up again, so you'd get 1, and you'd put that 1 here into this place. So then you'd have 1, 1. And then you would have the sum of these 2, which is 2, and then you'd put this one in the second place there. So it'd be 2, 1. So it just keep going like that, so it would generate the Fibonacci sequence for you. All right, so that's how it will work. So we just have to figure out what goes here, and in this case, it is yield. And the reason it's yield and not return is because yield will keep the state of this last variable. And each time you go to this function, it's going to grab one number, but it'll keep whatever is in this last variable, and it'll just keep cycling through. So we can use this next to grab the next one, and then the next to grab the next one, and so on. So I'll just delete these comments. Whereas return would just delete whatever in last, and then it would run this code fresh again. All right, so if we run it, we'll see that that's correct. So you're going to get 0. So the first time it goes through, it's going to initialize last as 0 and 1. And then you're going to yield last 0, which is going to be this 0 here. So you're going to get 0. And then it's going to put that into the generator. And then when you ask for the next in the generator, it's going to go to this again, and it's going to start here this time. So it's going to take this last, and it's going to switch the last to 1, 0, because it's going to sum these up, and then just move this to the next, that second place. And then it's going to return this 1, right? So then if it runs it again, then it's going to change this 1, 0 to 1, 1. And again, it's going to return 1. So that's what happens with the n equals 3. If n equals 1, it's just going to return that first 0. N equals 7, so it's going to just keep doing that. And like I said, the Fibonacci sequence is to get the next number, you sum up the two previous ones. All right, hopefully you guys are able to follow along with that, and you'll join me for future videos. Thank you very much.